A bright rising, not a bright, not a bright morning. Okay, I've put the topic in the chat. It's called healthy conflict. A healthy conflict. In our lives, in our ways, in our jobs, in our communities, we always face different challenges as we communicate, as we live together, and we will have conflicts of some sort. Now, normally when you say there is a conflict, it sounds like something negative, but we don't want to be negative all the time. So we want to have some positivity, even when we are having a conflict. It's true, there could be a negative conflict, but then there could be a healthy conflict. So what's a conflict to begin with? A conflict is a disagreement or a clash between individuals or groups due to differing opinions, interests, values, or needs. And there are also different types of, say, conflict which like occur between individuals due to personal differences or internal struggle within an individual, often involving conflicting desires or values. So that's intrapersonal conflict. But then there could be a disagreement or competition between different groups or teams, which is like inter-group conflict. And also in organizations, this could arise due to structural or procedural issues. So that would be like organizational conflict. So what causes these conflicts? It could be, say, limited resources leading to competition. When we first started using computers, we would have very few computers and we'd go to the library and there are so many people lining up, waiting for one computer or two computers. So there would be scarcity of resources and we're not even sure of what we are doing on these computers. You need somebody to help you. And then that would lead to some sort of conflict. You say, somebody, why are they sitting on the computer for too long? We also want to access our emails, that sort of thing. Then there could be cultural or ethical or personal values. So differences in values and beliefs that could bring a conflict within an organization or within a group, within a team. Then this big one, lack of clear communication, which causes misunderstandings. That could bring lots of conflict between people because everybody has understood something differently when actually you're all trying to aim at the same goal, but everybody's taking a different route simply because the communication wasn't clear. And then there could be, say, the distribution of power or authority, wherever we are. Certain people might say, oh, but for us, our team hasn't been given any power, any authority. We are being under certain people. How come? That sort of thing. Power imbalances can lead to conflicts in organizations or in our groups. Then also conflicting objectives or priorities. So the goal differences. Here, we aim to satisfy our customers. But, I mean, they are different customers and they have different deadlines, that sort of thing. So that could be, what's the priority? That can lead to a conflict of some sort. Like if I have a portfolio of different customers and also somebody has, maybe I would want to satisfy my customers before I help out a colleague when actually they have a deadline to be met. So those are things which need to be looked at as well. Then there could be just incompatible personalities, yeah, with different temperaments. Everybody understands things differently. So that could really, really bring issues within us, which could bring, but all these sound kind of negative, but we want to look at a healthy conflict. So how can we have a healthy conflict? What will happen is conflict, excuse me, how can we have conflicts which are healthy, whereby we don't disagree most of the time? Or how can we make it better? How can we make it good? Because when you look at a conflict in a positive way here, it promotes sharing of different ideas and viewpoints. So even if you have a difference in opinion, but when you look at sharing ideas and looking at a better picture, a different view, then it's going to promote that a healthier conflict whereby everybody is going to come out a winner in one way or the other. So it also enhances creativity, innovation through varied input. So if everybody's like allowed to share or to bring their opinion, so it will encourage this diverse perspective whereby though it's a bit of a conflict, but you come out as winners. The other thing which a healthy conflict can bring is it will improve problem solving, leads to deeper analysis of issues. Because yes, it's a conflict, but let's think about it. Let's talk about it. What's your view? What do you think? So we are going to think even deeper instead of just getting angry and run away from one another or say, well, I don't want to speak to Sukesh or whoever. But let's look at it. So what's your point of view? What do you think? How can we get around it? Yeah. Then the other thing it will do, it's a healthy conflict. It will strengthen relationships. How does that happen? Builds trust through open and honest communication. Because even if I'm not happy about something, I'm going to come out openly and say, well, I'm not happy about this, and this is what I think. And then I'm going to listen to you. And whatever you come up with, though it was a conflict, but we are going to come out winners. It also enhances decision making. So for making good decisions, if you talk about it carefully, if you think about it carefully, if you involve others, then maybe you're going to get to a better decision, to a better conclusion than just taking it on your own. It also promotes personal growth. So this encourages individuals to reflect on their beliefs and assumptions. Because when you hear somebody's point of view, which is different from yours, and you take it positively and you think about it, say, okay, I always thought this was the only way. This was the right way. But if somebody is saying that, maybe I should try that. So in a way, promoting personal growth. It also develops critical thinking and emotional intelligence because you're going to think about critically. You're not just going to say, oh, but we've always done this way. We've always done it this way. We hear these sort of things, especially when there's something to change. Most of the time, we don't like change. But when change comes around and say, well, that's what you do, but we've got to do it this way, then people are not going to be happy most of the time. But if you think about it critically and you see the positives out of it, then you are going to change. You're going to change, and it's going to be a healthy conflict. Then the other thing which would come out of a healthy conflict is it increases engagement. Though it's a conflict, but we are in a team, the more you engage, the more you understand, the more you get different views. So it fosters that culture of employees feeling valued and heard, say in an organization like ours. But not only in this organization, everywhere else, wherever we are in groups, because we are participating in this conflict in a healthy way. Everybody is going to come out valued, because if you bring your point of view and we appreciate it and we take it on board and say, okay, this is how I looked at it, but if that's what you are saying, fine, let's go with that. So if it's me who has brought that idea, I think I'm going to come out a big winner in a way. I will feel valued. So that's why it's very important not to put people down. Even when they contribute something you don't agree with, try to look at it. Don't put them down, because it's a contribution. It's a different way. It's an idea which has come up from somebody else. I think these are some of the issues which I thought about conflicts and having healthy conflicts. I'm sure everybody has been involved in a conflict in one way or the other. How did you come out of it? And what are the other ways we can get out of conflicts in a positive, in a better way? Anybody's welcome. Thank you.
Hi everyone. Good morning. Thank you, Robert, for this topic, which is really important to talk about. I think you cannot avoid conflicts when you are in a relationship with people in work or any other relationships. It's not something that you can avoid because people comes from different places, different point of view, will have different personalities. So we face the situation differently, and it sometimes cause conflicts, and it's all about how you face that conflict, how you behave when a conflict happens. So you make it like a healthy conflict, because I think even a conflict which you face it healthy can help to improve the team, and help with open communication, as you were saying, and it can even help the team to improve the decision making ability, and they can connect better. So it's all about how you face it, and how you behave during, when a conflict happens. And I think the important thing is that to make a conflict healthy is to so when it mostly happens when you have a disagreement, when they're in different subjects, you don't mm, you are not agree with someone. And I think the first thing is that when you are talking about it, you don't think that you are right, and all of others are all wrong. I think the first thing is that, because you cannot make people agree with you. It's only about you understand the different point of views, because you can discuss something, and you both I don't know, the team are disagreeing, and you cannot make people to agree because it's what they think. But you can come up with an understanding, you understand others, and understand what they're saying, what is it that they are disagreeing with. And I think it can help with avoiding the conflict to I don't know, wrap the team apart or something like that. So I think it's important that you seek for understanding, not for agreement, when a conflict happen. And I think it's important that you don't use what you call it, the you language, that you did this wrong, you should have done this, you always do this, something, things like that. It's not okay, and it doesn't feel when you hear those things, it doesn't feel good. So I think if you want to disagree, you have to use like I language. Talk about yourself, that I feel this, or I need this. I think it is more respective, and it shows that understand that other people have different perspectives, but you think that way. So it's not just blaming others, or um, just saying that it's their fault or something like that. I think it's important that you pay attention to the language that you're using, and you focus on the issue that happened, not the person or people that you disagree with. So something, for example, you are close to a deadline, and I think and you think that some people maybe haven't done their part of the task or something like that. So now the problem is not that that person maybe um, are doing less. Is now when you are, for example, um, closing to a deadline. The problem is that you are close to a deadline and you are not done. So you have to focus on that issue, not the person. And because you're in a team, and you want to solve the problem in the team, not to just make more problems. So I think you have to keep the conversation about the issue, and don't make people be defensive. Because when you blaming someone, they will be defensive, and then they don't want to fix anything, because they're hurt, or they don't like your attitude, something like that. And I think always open communications help, because you know that people's what is it that people are thinking, and you understand their personality better. You have open communication. You feel free, I don't know, to talk about to people, because you know them. And I think you have that clarity, and it's important to have that open communication, so you can face any situation better. And apart from understanding your teammates, your colleagues, it's important you all understand the purpose that you're working for, the purpose of the company, the purpose of, I don't know, the project you're doing. And in that way you will be all in same page, and it reduces the conflict that may cause. So I think it's important that you understand why you are doing this, what's the purpose, what's the goal, and being clear about that will help. But again, the last thing I want to emphasize is that when a conflict happens, it's not about avoiding it, because these things are neutral, they will happen. And I don't think we should avoid having a conflict. I think, but we should work on how to face it and how to treat it, and it's help you with communicating with other people. So I don't think that we should avoid having a conflict, or we should avoid being aggressive about it. Should just learn some skills to try to fix that, try to treat that healthy. Yeah, so thank you, Robert, for this topic, and thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, CPD. Quite a number of points there, just to list different viewpoints, everybody has a different point of view. So we need to accommodate that. We come from different environments, cultures, and upbringing, seek for understanding. And I love this one, I've never heard of it. Avoid the you language and encourage I language. That's it. Thank you very much, CPD. That one, I've never heard of it. I think I'm going to use it very much often in my conversation with my friends. Anyway, the other one is focus on issue, not the person. Also, he said aim solving the problem and be open, to have open communication. And then always try to look at the purpose of the project, or be on the same page, and why, what's the purpose, what's the goal, and try not to avoid conflict. You did that, or you did explain all that. Thank you so much. Anyone else, please? Hello, Calvin.
Thank you. Hello, everyone.
Kevin, you sound very low. I don't know whether you're farther from your microphone, or...
Let me just check.
You've gone completely mute now, Calvin. Sorry. We can't hear you at all. Can't hear you.
Yeah, I don't know. Is that
You're back now? Yeah,
clear
we
now?
can hear you now. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello, everyone. It's another beautiful day, and I'm grateful for the sunshine also over here. Thank you, Robert, for this interesting topic. It catches me a lot, and for me, I want to give a contribution using an example, a live experience example. I was working somewhere, and I was a team member within the organization, and I used to have a certain I don't know whether I can call it a habit or it was my nature. So every time when we would go for a meeting, and maybe our team leader would introduce something to discuss about, I would be the first one to conflict, just naturally to conflict with whatever wants to be implemented, whatever needs to be discussed. So to a point, and it wasn't like I had a beef with anybody, but I would just love to challenge and say, no, we shouldn't do it that way. Even though at the end of it, probably maybe I would agree with it. And sometimes when I would conflict, it would also demoralize the other people. And my contribution sometimes would be so much heavy that it would cause some, I mean, some conflict to a point that maybe whatever has to be done might not be implemented. But I don't know whether we'll call this a healthy conflict, because what that nature did to me is they decided and said, hey, we would want to, let me use the word promote or elevate this team member to the management position, so that instead of him conflicting with every policy of the organization that needs to be done, he can be a contributor and want to implement.
Yes.
And and then our team member, who was our leader then, did us a training and told us that, when you are in the management level now, if anything needs to be discussed and you're together with your team members, first, before you conflict with your team, before you conflict with your fellow manager, get to understand that it's not going to discriminate him, it's going to be a healthy one. So now I wanted to say that I really used to bring a healthy challenging within the conversation. And there's something that I learned from it, that it really improved, it increased, I would say, the engagement, because sometimes our contribution is made or something is brought on the table and then everybody is silent. So I would imagine if probably we say we want to do something and then everybody says yes, 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 let's do. What's the ultimate result of that action if we don't challenge it on the table? So I agree that there has to be a healthy competition. And one thing I would say, again, when we have that healthy conflict, we need to set the ground rules so that, it's not, I would say, no beef to anyone. So it's very interesting. So conflict within the team, it would improve the relationship. It will improve the relationship. That is, when it is well managed, it can create or strengthen the relationship by building what is called trust and understanding. So it would reach a point that nobody would just bring an agenda on the table if Kelvin is seated there. And funny enough, the funny point is sometimes if they would want to implement something, they would first come and ask me, hey, Kelvin, there's something we want to implement, and what do you think about this thing? So the moment they ensure that or the moment they get to know that I say yes before the meeting, and then they know that thing is going to be implemented. Well, so of course, by doing that, it also earned me some position wherever I was. So I would say also it fosters what is called better decision making, because it can lead to more innovative and also effective solutions. And also it increases that engagement, as I've said. And one thing is, as I conclude, is that it enhances productivity. So that contribution, it will really enhance, resolving issues promptly. Nobody can just bring something on the table and, jokingly. They will know that, hey, this team, they can challenge this thing. So before even you bring anything on the table, you would need to think. So it will also make you as a team leader to be productive. So thank you. I wanted to bring that from the team point of view, and that challenging of items on the table, whatever discussion. So thank you so much, Robert, for that great and interesting topic. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kelvin. Some wonderful points there. It sounds like you are a good troublemaker, which is a positive thing. Can you imagine a good troublemaker? Yeah, but you mentioned among things there that you love a challenge, which is brilliant, because that way it's going to stimulate people's ideas. I remember when I was in my school days, would go to a debate, and sometimes everything that I write down to talk about, somebody has talked about them already, and I don't know what to do. So what I would do, I wouldn't be like, if I'm not among the first speakers, I just have a piece of paper and write down whatever somebody says, and I only just go to oppose that, just to stimulate that conversation, or to have something to say. And I mean, every time it would bring up a big kind of surprise to people, that why is he always saying no? Why is he always saying, maybe a bit like you, Kelvin, there? But it was always fun. It was always very interesting, because it would involve other people, like the people would just keep quiet and sit down and don't say anything. So conflicts can be a very, very good thing, just like you said. Like you said there, about better decision making and enhancing productivity, as well as improving relationships. Thank you, Kelvin. Anybody else, please? Anyone? Okay, if there's nobody, I think that's all we have time for as well. Thank you very much, everybody, for participating. And over to you, Sepide or Linda.